Boom. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ashes of Creation discussion round, the longest running podcast for Ashes of Creation, the podcast where we don't take doing a podcast serious, where we just talk about the game because, let's face it, it's Sunday, we got nothing else to do.
Reckless's camera turned off, so now Reckless is DA,
Yeah, I
DA is
know.
me, and I'm Reckless.
That's fine.
It's fine. Everybody's the same. We don't judge. All right. So I guess we're gonna talk about the letter first, right?
Letter is the most big thing, so you want to do that now, or you want to say that toward the end?
I mean, I know you got something that you need to get off your chest, so we can go right into that. I don't care.
I feel like we need to start with the letter to get the drama flowing.
Okay.
Whatever people want to say.
Letter first.
Letter first. I dig the letter. I actually really fucking like the letter.
Oh, we're getting into the meat and potatoes first? Okay.
Meat and potatoes, baby.
I mean,
he wants to save me ranting about the cosmetics for later.
Yeah, because I like when you rant. When I don't have to rant, when you like, it's awesome. That's like the best time ever. No, the thing is with the letter, I mean, the only thing I didn't really like about the letter is like, oh yeah, you like it. You see, like again, the letter wasn't really for the core community. It's for the new people and everything. Because honestly, I did not care. You know, okay, you didn't interview with Asmongold. You did the lazy peon video. What I cared about is the hiring stuff, which I really liked, even though they didn't take me. And secondly, the dates, because now we're going back into that place where we can give it like a rough estimate to when Ashes releases. So we're looking at Alpha 1 next year, early next year. So based on that and the process on how game development works, we can like give it like now we're more in a place where we can have an idea on when Ashes comes out. So that made me really happy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it gives I think that them having this kind of clear, concise schedule and what the kind of target goals they want to hit, and having that kind of available for the community to see is very important, because right now things are a little vague with well, not right now, but previously things were a little bit vague when it comes to just like where the development is, where you guys stand on things. A lot of those tests, we hear we got a bunch of data, we got data, but what does that actually mean? That doesn't really tell me as a consumer much of anything. And when you say just like I got data, that it's I don't know, it's just very vague. And I feel like having this kind of I guess you could say mini roadmap when it comes to Alpha 1 is very much a step in the right direction.
Do we want to go? All right, so right now everyone's just doing comments on like their thoughts on the letter. Do we want to go through the letter? Do you want to jump straight into the big topic?
I guess we should go through the letter.
Okay, you guys want to go through the letter? All right, we're going through the letter. All right.
All right. So beginning, it's just it's pretty much an introduction to the letter. It pretty much just says like, hey, Corona's going on. We're still working from home. It tells about like how they separated from my.com and are currently going to do some self-publishing in the EU. And how they opened up the EU office.
That's huge to me. I think that's probably one of the chunkier pieces of the letter. To do your own publishing in the EU is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. I know there was a lot of backlash from the community when it came to my.com. I've never been a consumer to my.com, so I'm not sure where they got that bad rep from.
Oh, they suck.
But
they're awful.
So apparently it's a good move to separate from them and for Intrepid to be doing their own publishing in the EU. It also opens up the door for more opportunities to have team members join the Intrepid Studio team, which is I think another great move, because once you start hiring people that work for you directly, you can use those people as valuable assets to help out in different areas of the game's development, and you'll have them more readily available to you.
You're just
So,
saying
I
that
think
now
it's a
because
good
you
move.
know they didn't hire me and you want to rub that in, you dumbass.
All right, so this
No,
isn't.
no, BCG. You know what? Steven said it. I think earlier this month he said, just because you didn't get brought on board on the first wave doesn't mean that you won't get brought on board on the second or third wave.
I know,
But
I'm
he's
just- I'm
doing
just
waves
kidding.
up. Yeah, he's doing waves. He's doing waves of hiring. So, I'm sure you'll get in there.
I mean,
BCG.
honestly, as soon as they hire for just like normal marketing managers, I'm throwing my thing back in the ring. Okay, but back to the letter.
This isn't really anything new. We already knew all this. This is just like recap. This is a recap, putting all the information together of what happened throughout the this quarter. This was all stated elsewhere, and I think in a blog post and a whole bunch and possibly more. It's definitely done in more detail. So if you want to read up on that, go to those varying blog posts. This is just letting you know, hey, this happened.
I have a question for Stackerson. Because Stackerson is our IT guy. Yes, we have a designated IT guy on the podcast. So in the letter it says, they moved the project up from 2 engine versions from Unreal 4.
Oh, that's development. That's the next section.
Yeah, from 4. Wait, are we not there yet, or is there something?
No, we're still in the first part.
Oh, we're still on the first part. Okay, never mind.
DA, did you have anything to add? Because everyone else got to talk about the first part.
Oh, I think Intrepid EU is a great move, like Reckless said. I think it's funny being a NA player because when the my.com thing happened, like all the EUs were just livid, and me personally, I'm like, I guess this is a bad thing. I don't really know how to relate to that because I've never really had to deal with my.com. But then we went and played Conqueror's Blade, and oh my god, the being able to seed off of other people and not turn it down, you're only able to slow it down. The constant issues with my.com, I was like, I would probably be irritated or pissed myself if these guys were handling Ashes. So yeah, I think it's a good move.
Dackerson?
Yeah. There's a lot of EU people who were upset. I mean, that's kind of what got Proxy. If I remember right, Proxy got super upset that he wasn't even the Intrepid didn't even talk to him about the My.com. And at the time, I understood why Intrepid wanted My, because My.com pretty much agreed to their terms of giving them complete creative freedom with their project. But now that they've been able to take the time and actually create their own studio, or if that's what they call it in the EU, so they can publish there, awesome.
We talked pretty in depth about this last podcast. I stated my thoughts on it were pretty much Stackerson's right, they did what they wanted to, but the self-publishing thing now is pretty much just them. Like back then when they made the deal with my.com, they were trying to push it out before 2020, so they weren't able to make the EU branch in a timely manner the way they wanted to, I feel. And that was just the best option available to them at the time.
He felt like it was a placeholder for
not a placeholder. Once they did that, it was done deal thing back then. If it would have gone through, but since the same game was delayed, they have time to set up EU Intrepid now.
It's also just, I feel like my.com, it sounds like at least they were dropping the ball with a lot of things, at least related to APOC. I could be wrong.
Not even APOC. It was mainly store stuff. Store stuff was
okay. So from just as an example, from the community section, right? You know how every the French, the Russians, and the Germans, they all had their separate community managers and community moderators. The my.com people could not even be bothered to translate what Margaret Toast and the other people posted in the English section. And we pointed that out a bunch of times, and there was you know how when you write something or you ask something in chat, Toast or one of the English moderators answers?
Yeah.
And in Russia, French, and even in Germany, you do still have people that don't speak English very well. And every time somebody asked something, it was really hard for them to get an answer in their sections, because the moderators or the community managers, they were not really all there. So I'm kind of glad that now we're moving to a place where you can have like, you know, back in the day how moderators got, you know, we took moderators from the community. We're still doing that now, but now maybe they can take moderators from the German community, the French community, the Russian community, and, you know, put them in charge of the, like, at least the community Discord sections. I would really appreciate that. I would like that. Not appreciate, I would like that.
That's definitely something I feel like they need to improve. I've jumped down into those channels a couple times myself, just to say what's up to, you know, the different people in the community that speak different languages. And, you know, for the most part, a hello translates in just about every language. Everybody knows what hello is. So when I jump down into those channels and, you know, I say hello and how you doing to everybody, you know, they talk to me back and, you know, obviously broken English to the best of their abilities, but they've expressed that same concern that BCG is referring to, which is, you know, they need better communication in those different languages. So I definitely agree with BCG. I think they could step it up as far as that's concerned, at least with the Discord anyways. That's my 2 cents on that.
So moving on to the development updates, because we talked about this specific topic in length when it actually did announce, and we did a podcast on that and all that stuff. But this is the letter, and this information's just a summed up version. Back to the development side of things. Development update, next section of the letter, you pretty much just say it's like they've been doing 4K videos, live stream, everything that's been happening this month. Then they go into like more detail of like how recently they've upgraded from Unreal Engine, the Unreal 4.23 to 4.25.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, you can ask a question now.
Sackerson, how much work is that?
I have no clue.
Fuck you.
I do want to talk about this. So when it comes to the upgrade engine upgrade, that is such a missed opportunity on Intrepid's part for just so much content. You know, the conversation has gone to, hey, we upgraded, you know, to 4.25, but like, what does that actually mean? You know, 4.25, if you actually read the notes from it, they have a network profiler. You know, that's a whole, you know, stream in itself, the network profiler, with the things that it brings to, you know, understanding like what issues are going on with the network. The Niagara updates, you know, they show off the waterfalls on stream and things like that. But, you know, that's a missed opportunity that they just fail to capitalize on, because that's a whole, you know, hey, we have this update, and this update brings different visuals to the effects to the game. This is how it looked before, this is how it looked after, and these are the reasons why, because it optimizes this and this. And it's just like there's certain little, you know, things that like I feel Intrepid just kind of misses they miss their shot on just kind of capitalizing on some of these things that they can use to not only further engage with their community, but you know, give information and, you know, be transparent without having to show off a leak or show off a you know, this content we've been working on, because not every time you want to show everything you've been working on, or not every time, you know, you want to keep some things kind of like you know, behind closed doors until people are able to get in and see it. So the 4.2 upgrade, there's a lot of stuff, if you actually read the patch notes on that they could have, you know, used 2 or 3 streams to kind of talk about and use that for content.
I mean, I wouldn't really want to see that in a stream, to be honest. I could
have done a little bit in the letter, like just be a vague description of like the big importance of this update, of this move.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the full topic of a stream, but, you know, that's one of instead of the, like, you know, the 100 questions that we've heard a million times that have been answered a million times, or the speculation questions where it's just like, why is this even a question? Because we don't know, and they're not going to know until they get something more definitive on.
I would like to, you know, see like a blog post about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like even a little bit longer one that explains, you know, we're doing this and this and this is gonna help us. Because video format, I wouldn't do it in a video format.
Yeah, I agree. That a blog post is fine too, as well. That's just something to. Yeah.
I mean, they used to have the tech guys on the streams, and then I feel like they like suddenly went away.
Because
it'd be nice if they-
because of COVID, they were doing that because they were in studio. Then COVID happened. Now it's just, and now you're definitely just.
You could give them webcams.
You could give them webcams, but they haven't brought.
They have. I bet they have webcams. I bet they already bought webcams.
Yeah.
I know for a
them.
fact. I know for a fact it's not that difficult to do.
I know we had Bacon on, so.
We had Bacon on. I know for a fact they're talking to each other between to get work done. It's not that big of a deal, but it is like doing the format for that. I don't know. It's the way they're doing it now for the COVID at home streams.
Yeah,
you know what? I agree with Stackerson on this one. I think I miss it. I do. I miss having the devs come on to the streams and kind of sit there and discuss with us. It engulfed me more into the development of the game, actually looking at the devs talk about what they're doing in their work and how excited they are, and just to see their facial expressions and how stoked they are about the different accomplishments that they're doing. So I miss it, and I would like to see them bring that back. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, a little bit of it has to deal with when it comes to competing companies and poaching. One of the major issues right now, like I know, I'm not sure if you guys keep up with the Intrepid Studios website. I check that to see what positions have been filled and whatnot. Like I check it regularly, but Intrepid has pulled a lot of their people off the the website, and the reason being is one of the and I sometimes wish that Intrepid was here in Texas, somewhere in Austin or something like that. But they're out there competing with other tech giants. So like when you look at things like needing a full stack developer for the website or a network engineer for the backend, those are jobs that span across multiple companies for different reasons. So you're competing against all the biggest tech giants out there for these highly needed positions. On top of that, you have Amazon trying to actively snipe Intrepid. Like that's a company thing that Amazon does. That's a thing that companies like Microsoft do. They snipe talent. They snipe the competition's talent off of them, and that's one of the things that Intrepid has to deal with. So it might be a security thing because they don't want their engineers getting sniped by Amazon, and Amazon's doing everything they can to try to swallow up as much talent as possible.
I honestly think it's just the fact that they're not in studio, and it's more just a format. Like it's how they're doing their format right now. I don't like. I understand what you're saying, DA, and that's true. But they were only they weren't showing off every one of their people. They were only showing off the lead of their lead people coming in to like explain what their individual groups are doing beforehand. Yeah. And I honestly think it's just that ease of access of like what people. I also another thing that could be why they're not doing that they're not having them go on camera right now is just because like the amount of work they're doing right now.
It's hard to talk about technical stuff. I mean, I'm on stand up every day, and it's hard to be like, how much detail do I go in? Because like my project manager doesn't care. So it's like I will just say I'm working on this. Yeah. So it's hard to see and it's hard for them to figure out as a tech. It's hard to figure out what you should even talk about because to the person who doesn't understand what you're talking about, they don't really care. So it's like sometimes you might hit something and it sounds good, so they like really get into it. But other times it might be even a more complex issue, but they can't appreciate it because they have no understanding of what it is.
We went off topic a little bit on how we would like them to bring that back to the stream, back to the letter. If we that's the big thing right here. It just goes into further description of like the move, and then they go into like a little bit of description like what was going on, but not like really big detail.
I guess I would just like to see like high level why they switched. Just like I mean, DA mentioned all the fancy things that they could do with it, but like, what are they actually leveraging from the updated?
That's what I think. That's what BCG and
with the
DA
blog
were trying
post.
to get at. Yeah.
All right, are we going to talk about Alpha 1 now? I want to talk about Alpha 1.
Yeah, now we're at the Alpha 1. The first bit is like explaining the difference between the Eastern port alpha. Like the first bit is explaining the two different kinds of alphas that you have. You have the Eastern port alphas, and then you have a true alpha. Like a port alpha, the game's already done. They're just porting it over. They're translating everything and making sure everything works in the new, like on the new servers and everything. Now, like an actual alpha, you're still in the development cycle. They're explaining like why things are taking so long, like why, like where we are currently, and like trying to temper people's expectations of like what's going on, what they're gonna see when the alpha finally comes out. When they finally get into the alpha.
This is something I talked about in my last video as well. There's gonna be so many people that think, oh, okay, this is alpha, so this is now I can buy in, because you can buy in, and as soon as people, because I literally, I think was it Reddit or was it Discord? I don't know. Like a couple months ago, I seen this somewhere, where people were arguing, as soon as you can buy into a game, it's early access or it's a portable alpha. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, no, it really is not. People need to understand.
You're not buying into this though. Like you're not.
Well,
yeah,
you kind of with the Alpha 1 access.
Kind of.
Yeah,
I can see the argument there, but you're not.
So I'm like sitting there, I'm like trying to figure out for myself. Am I gonna go in there now and try to explain to people that this is not an Eastern alpha? This is Western type alpha testing.
And then just to continue on, like just to finish this off, so we can actually like talk about, like you can continue to talk about this, or you can talk about, like people can talk about the parts they want to talk about. You can see the graph that shows the different dates and stages of the alpha, and then underneath it gives a little bit of description of like a description of what we're seeing in the graph of like the different phases and stuff like that.
I think that it was right for them to kind of schedule the alpha the way they did. How do I put it? We kind of guesstimated Alpha 1 would last 6 to 8 months on a, if that was, on a good time schedule, 6 to 8 months, and it seems like that's kind of where it's sitting at. I feel like the test gives you enough time, especially from what we saw in the PI test. That is like the one test that we can talk about. From what we saw in that test, I think the way that they spread out the days are great, because it gives you enough time to experience what they have worked on, but at the same time you're not getting too much to where it's like, man, I'm burnt out, man, I'm bored of this, when's the next content? And you have that new world issue where you're just like, man, this game doesn't have nothing, I'm still waiting on content. On top of that, it looks like they gave them ample enough time between each test to get a lot of work done development wise. So a lot of time to put in these features, a lot of time to finish off polishing what needed to be polished off from the last time we played as PI. So I think it's a great schedule. It's not what everybody wanted, because there are those people who kind of wanted Alpha 1 to get here, be chock full of content, and be able to play until Alpha 2 comes up. But
people's expectations. I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, we'd be testing all the time. Like wipes, like whatever. They were thinking, oh, we'd be testing all the time. Or they'd be thinking maybe because it's taken so long, Alpha 1 will be persistent. That, like, it's always been, Alpha 1 was not going to be persistent. Alpha 1 was going to be chalked up like this. It's spacing. I think it still hits my initial time frame. Like people have been saying like, oh, this new schedule, we're not getting Ashes of Creation until 2022, 2023. I'm like, I don't see that. I think depending on how this goes, it's still hitting my initial time frame window. You have like that, like they said, you're going to be testing in. It's just not full. It's just not their version of full release Alpha 1. Come fall 2020, like we were originally told. But all Bravers and Intrepid pack holders, that is everyone that should have Alpha 1. All Alpha 1 backers are getting in on this December test.
That is kind of surprising to me, because I did not expect that.
Yeah. So all Alpha 1 backers are getting in December 18th, which is still in the fall time frame, December, like, so winter doesn't start till December 21st. So like the test on the first day of winter.
I mean, but it's not labeled as Alpha 1. It's labeled as a
it's
preview.
labeled as pre. That's what it's labeled as, and it's still under an NDA.
The big confusion upset is, let me just read chat real quick. The big confusion upset is Alpha 1 preview and Alpha 1 non-NDA. A lot of people expecting no such thing as Alpha 1 preview. Well, a lot of people don't expect a lot of things, but this is how it just...
Yeah. So one of the things is like, there's... so I look at it like this. Intrepid is going to do what Intrepid wants to do, and they're going to do what's in their best interest, right?
Yes.
What's best for the game.
And what's best for the game. So like, I understand the frustration about, labeling things, but at the end of the day, I feel like you gotta realize that the labels only really hold as much power as you give them, and they're kind of, so like you point out like the pre-alpha test, like, yeah, it's true, like, we slap a pre-alpha on it and it's like, bam, it's a new testing environment, it's a new thing that's just been created out of nowhere. But at the same time, like, if they don't go with that strategy, if they don't go with kind of how they're going with now, you guys won't be entertained, you guys won't enjoy it. You just won't enjoy it.
Can I know Yoni wants to rant later, but can I rant real quick? Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead and rant.
Can I do that? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Anybody that thinks or that wants to play Alpha 1 to enjoy themselves can literally go and fuck off. It literally says this schedule will include Alpha 1 testers, like for the first testing phase, right? Alpha 1 testers for 4-day stress tests starting December 18th. Like, this is not, hey, let's go in, I want to play, I paid, I want to play. This is literally to stress test the game. So you're not going to get what you're going to get at the end when the game releases. You're going to get the bare minimum. You're going to get a list of stuff that needs to be tested and done.
Which is what I think they were trying to do when they were in the first part. They were trying to specify, like, this is not an Easter. The game's not done. The game's not done. You're still developing the game.
People need to understand that this game is still in development, and we're working on it. They are working on it. I'm working on it, and they allow us to help out. So if you don't have an NDA, right, then. Or if there's an NDA, it doesn't really matter, because if you have access and you can help test, then go help test. And as soon as the NDA drops, then you're gonna have footage left and right.
But as I was saying, this still follows my initial time frame schedule. You're looking at a 5 month, like with this, from December to April. That's a good 5 months of testing. If we tackle in also the PI test as well, then that's 7 months of PI. That's 7 months of alpha testing before and release. That final month-long test, I want to say not immediately after, maybe not even shortly after, but not long after that, we'll probably move over to Alpha 2. And I want to say Alpha 2 will probably be, if it's to my original guess and what I'm thinking, Alpha 2 will probably be at the end of quarter 2, maybe possibly quarter 3. I'm hoping quarter 2. That isn't solidly in my time frame, but if it's at the end of quarter 2, if we start seeing it at the end, if we start seeing news of Alpha 2 in quarter 2, then we're gonna get betas. Then my prediction is betas
You have to, like, and Jaylon just wrote it in chat. Steven said yesterday in his interview with Jaylon that Alpha 2 will not be right after Alpha 1. So they can,
like I said, not right after.
Yeah, so
here's my thing with the dates, you guys. Okay, and I feel so bad for doing this, but this is just how I feel. No, I really do. I feel bad because I love Intrepid Studio. I love the people that work for Intrepid Studio. It's going to be a great game, in my opinion, once it releases. But here's the thing, right? I'm having a flashback moment to PAX, okay? And they put this whole list out of this is when this is going to happen, this is when that's going to happen. They had everything laid out just like they have in this creators director's letter, right? They had all these dates for us. They released it at PAX. They showed everyone at PAX, okay, this is our timeline, this is what we want to do. that we know how that went. Okay. So for me, when I'm getting these dates, they no longer hold that significant value like they did when they released the dates at PAX. When they released the dates at PAX, it had significant value to me. I took it and I said, you know what? I ran with it. I said, yep, this is the map. This is what they want to do. You know, they displayed that. They had their whole team, sitting there physically at PAX talking. Not that's the recent PAX, but the previous year. So now we're getting these dates and these maps laid out. And for me, I know, the world events happen, all kind of things happen that's completely out of a studio's hand. There's nothing they can do about it. But then there are some things that they can do. There are some times where they may give a date that's unrealistic. And so for me, I can no longer allow myself to get emotionally attached to these dates or to hold it to be true. I'm more so at this point of the statement for the game. I'm more so just letting things flow. I'm not too concerned about the date that they throw in my face. More so for me, it's like show me the product. Okay, it's fine. You got these dates, you have these goals that you want to hit on, a certain timeline. I get that, and it's nice for some people to see. I know a lot of people still like to see that, but for me, it doesn't necessarily hold any value anymore for me, and that's just in my personal opinion, because there's been too many mishaps to where these dates are set back. Misleading, or whatever you want to call it.
I got you. So,
they have at the beginning of this year, or was it the beginning of 2019? I want to say the beginning of this year. It was 2019.
Yeah,
2019. When Margaret joined, they said they wanted to own up to all the past mistakes of like missed dates and stuff like that, and that they want to not say definitive dates till they know for a fact they can hit them. Even Jolon has been very hard on them on dates, and he's admitted that several times in his videos that he'll call them out if they miss a date. But they've given us solid and that's why at the beginning when they said the previous thing of fall 2020. They didn't give they weren't going to give a solid date. They just said we're looking at fall 2020. And that last stream they said we're going to know where we are in terms of testing here pretty soon. We're going to announce whether what our plans are for Alpha 1 in the next director's letter. And they even pushed back the director's letter so they could do that. They pushed it back. They put out the director's letter. They've given us hard solid dates that I think they still want to they want to say these are the dates that we're 100% going to hit. Ever since Margaret got in, they want to be more on to we're gonna hit dates when we want to stick to our dates.
I mean,
I hope they do.
Let me ask this, because I think right now out of the five of us, I'm the only one who's not a PI member, right?
Yes.
You're the only shut up, dude. Just shut up.
You're the only you're the only non-PI member.
Okay, so
join the Monaco Club.
Shut the fuck up. So let me ask you this: going based on your guys' experience, I don't know. Can you guys talk about?
Yes.
We can talk about the first two PI. We can talk about the first PI test.
Okay, let me rephrase this. Based on your experience within the last PI test, whatever we can talk about, do you think that they will hit the dates that they mentioned, especially the December date?
Absolutely. I think that I think they will hit it because of how kind of spread out those dates are. I think that they've actually done the right thing and given themselves ample enough time to kind of polish off the development they do have, as well as develop the core things needed for a successful Alpha 1 before we hit that full.
I disagree, DA. I disagree. I don't think it's necessarily ample time. I don't think they've given themselves ample time. To me, would have been pushing the alpha out a year. That would be ample time. I believe they did give themselves some time, to be able to produce a well-functioning alpha. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, just based off of what we've experienced that we can talk about, just based off of that, I would say, you know, pushing it out a year would have been nice, to have a Eastern-ish alpha. I know we're not looking for that. I know we're not looking for that, but you know, we are a part of a small minority of people, consumers that, you know, are okay with, you know, having a Western alpha. But we have to realize that the majority of the gamers in the Western community is looking for that Eastern type of alpha. So with that being said, we have to realize that there needs to be a fine balance. Okay, so you still have to give, like BCG said earlier during the podcast just now. He said people are going to go into these alphas wanting to play. I paid money. I want to play a game. I want to play something. So with that mindset, that's exactly what I'm referring to right now, is that you have to have some type of balance between the Western and the Eastern alpha releases. There should be a balance. Yeah, I get it. It's not an Eastern alpha release. It's a Western one, but you're still going to have the majority of your alpha player, people that bought into your alphas, looking for these mechanics, looking for this type of gameplay.
You see, like, I get what you're saying, but I would, okay, wait, if you have anything, like, finish first.
So what I'm getting at is, you know, to give themselves more time to push out something more familiar to their client base, because the majority of their client base is going to be looking for what's familiar to them as far as alpha testing is concerned. We see it all the time with the indie developers on Steam, you know, and these early release alphas and stuff like that that's on Steam. You have to kind of coincide with what people are, what becomes the norm for your clients. So if the norm for your clients is a particular type of alpha testing, then you kind of want to at least give them something. You want to put something in there for that type of client, because that's, I mean, overall that's who that's your clients, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's just, in my opinion, they should have given themselves a little bit more time to be able to kind of implement those different mechanics.
I agree with what you're saying, and I understand why you've come to that decision, especially since, you know, we've both played the game. So like I can sort of agree with that. I think the 4-day testing kind of handles that, because again, you're not giving people too much. If they had everything that we kind of all the feedback that we gave them from that test and all the things that we said we kind of want to see in there to have a successful alpha, I think that they could chalk it full of 4 days worth of content for that 4 days. And then as you move over to 2021, because, you know, we're going down for a month, we're going down for another 2 months, and then we're going down for 3. It's like we're going down for our so we don't get any testing till December. So that's 2 months of development. Then after December, you don't get anything till February. That's another 2 months of development. They can do a lot of development within those 2 months. I mean, we've seen New World is already talking about 6 new weapons and a bunch of other updates that they're adding to that, and that's in what, a month and a half's time, 2 months. So like, yeah, Intrepid could very well, and this is one of the hard parts about it, is Intrepid is a very transparent company, but they are not as transparent as to kind of where they are on goals, dates, and where they are in their development. You know, we don't know. We hear things of, like, we see the waterfalls and we see we see the underwater mechanics, and we see the water aquatic mounts, but we have no clue where they are on naval development. We've got no clue where they are. We haven't seen a ship. We haven't seen a freehold. We haven't seen. There's so much stuff that, you know, we haven't seen that are kind of like, you know, core parts of the game. So it's like you don't know what they're on. Like, they could have ship content ready to go but they just haven't put it into our version of the game, but we have no clue. We think, you know, this stuff is just not done because they haven't shown any inclination of that. So it's just like there's a I want to say there's a marketing aspect to Ashes, and that Intrepid kind of doesn't fully hit the ball out of the park on. And I'm not saying that that's anyone's like fault per se. It's just there. It's really kind of an odd marketing thing. Like, you know, we have this you have this transparent company. You have Intrepid, which is a very much transparent company, but a company like Star Citizen, who doesn't even pride themselves on being transparent, has a lot more transparency within their development cycle than Intrepid does.
You mean with the roadmaps and everything?
Yeah,
Yes.
the roadmaps. Everyone's been saying Intrepid needs to copy the roadmaps since the very beginning of the whole thing.
Okay, so I get. Here's my 5 cents to this whole conversation, because I get what DA is saying, get what Reckless is saying, but here's my whole thing. Everybody that bought into Alpha 1 always knew what they bought into. Everybody knew what they're buying into. They knew that this is not an Eastern developer. This is a first-time indie studio, and Steven, at least in my point of view, has always been upfront about that fact. Especially within the last year, they made it really clear that Alpha 1 phases are gonna be what they're gonna be. They're gonna be bare bone testing the core systems, and the majority of the stuff that people enjoy, like Reckless said, won't be in there till Alpha 2. So for them now they're in a position where you have the biggest content creators on the planet going hard on Ashes and fucking, you know, getting access to Alpha 1. The only thing that they have to do, in which they kind of dropped the ball in the past as well, is clearly communicate to the outside, not just to the people on the Discord, on the forums, clearly to the outside, maybe even within the game, even within the testing version of Ashes, to clearly communicate what this is. This is not a pre-release. This is not a port. This is a pre-alpha. This is an alpha test for a game that is still a couple years out. And if they communicate that, then they should be good, at least from my point of view. Because if anybody goes into Alpha 1 and expects and starts bitching, hey, why can I not play Tulnar, or why can I play Orcs? Like, instantly Control-Shift-Alt ban the guy for the next year before Ashes comes out.
The alpha. So if we delayed it anymore, and the alpha that you're suggesting that they put out, Reckless, is what I think they're aiming for Alpha 2. Alpha 1, like Alpha 2 is supposed to be like more. We're testing the actual like functions for the game. They've already said what they want to aim for and what they're trying to test in Alpha 1. We know Alpha 1's not even supposed to be like remotely done. Like, it's still developed, like it's remote. Like, Alpha 1 is like a true Western Alpha 1. A lot of those, like, what's the norm today? A lot of the gaming community is like annoyed with what's the norm today. Fucking early access stuff is constantly being pushed out and constantly being just bad. Mostly it's survival games that they go into early access. Then you have MMOs don't normally like all the Kickstarter MMOs. I think this is fairly normal for a Kickstarter MMO, like a true 2-form testing alpha is okay for a Kickstarter MMO, and if they push it and they push it back. I know I know you're not thinking about like they're pushing back development, but they're pushing back like actually showing people things that but pushing back time frames and stuff like that is not showing like the transparency that I think they want to show. I think they want people to get in there and test. I think they want the things like they want, and if they push stuff back, it's just more of a problem monetary wise, I think, because of the fact that they need to be testing like the 10,000 people that they have. They need to make sure like the servers they want to put out for Alpha 2 and further on and release can hold the numbers they want to hold.
I think though the one thing we're failing to remember here is the BR, right? So that's what the BR was for. You know, and this is not what I'm saying. This is what Intrepid Studios told us. So we've had these phases. We've had phases where they've even went to Steam and allowed, you know, the community to come in to do those tests that you're referring to. So
correct.
That how so?
BR was not meant to do server size stability. That is specifically what like it was for a back end coding and like structure like structure destruction thing. That's why we had a big gap between. That's why they never were able to get like the 200. That's why they rarely got the 200. They were trying to test the castle sieges, which we never got to in the APOC. We're supposed to test those 200v200 server size large event type things. We never got to the actual server size testing.
Well, from what I recall, and I could be wrong, but the whole...
He cut out again.
He got disconnected.
I know. That's
okay. Yeah, he's back.
There he is. He's back.
You know, the circle. I mean, I don't know. And this is kind of why the whole map and layouts for me is kind of just smoke for me, to be honest. And I kind of, you know, backed off personally, emotional wise. Like I'm not attaching myself to these dates. I'm more so at this point in time just looking for the actual what can I experience, what can I see, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it at that, you know.
Let me
I feel like we've been through too many different phases, too many different pre-alpha tests.
And I think the reason for that feeling, and a lot of the community feels that way, is because of kind of how things were communicated in the past. So like you look at when we were previously talking about Alpha 1. Alpha 1 was supposed to be, you know, MMO Alpha 1, this is what we're going to be testing, this is what we're like, this is what the Alpha 1's going to be about. And then PAX drops and it's like, oh, but we're going to do Alpha 1, Part 2. And then you're like, you have the community, you're like, that's not what you were kind of like, you know, saying and we know what, you know, like Oni said, we know BR was important because they needed to know how to make a launcher, know how to do updates. Like some of the things that we saw in BR, like having to uninstall the launcher every single time. I feel like a lot of people think that some of these things, like the party system, the guild system, all of these things are plugins that you can just buy from the Unreal store, and they're not. You know, Intrepid hasn't been making years for games where they can say, hey, let's just go to the Call of Duty, last Call of Duty game, and pull out the matchmaking system and pull out the party system and then just put a fresh new UI on it. So they have to do all this from start. That being said, it goes back to that kind of communication thing that, like I was saying earlier, is, you know, it was poorly communicated. You know, we heard battlegrounds. I remember the PAX before they before they admitted that it was going to be a BR, they specifically said battlegrounds, and there was even a stream that somebody somebody clipped where they said battle royale, battlegrounds, and they purposely did not, you know. I love Intrepid, but come on, man,
here's the thing. Here's why. Okay, let me put it this way. And we gotta move on after this because we've been sitting on this one.
Yeah,
okay.
we've been kind of stuck for a while.
I want to say this to kind of wrap this up. It is active development, right? Nothing is set in stone. All right. So it can still change by, you know, maybe a week. You know, maybe
if the dates change, you are probably gonna have a little bit of backlash. You're probably gonna have backlash. They said they want to stick to the dates now.
Exactly, that's the thing.
And they're giving us hard dates now.
That's what I'm getting at. If they miss those dates by a lot, they should never ever announce any more dates. And I think they are aware of that. And I think they're smart enough to not give dates without knowing 100% that this is where we're going. But still, you always got to remember active development. Let's say, for example, we go in December and we completely rip the thing apart, like find more bugs than anybody expected, right? Then that is a good thing. You always have to look at the bright side. But I honestly doubt that even if the dates would change, it would change by a lot. Moving on, next topic.
All right, so we're just done with the letter. Okay.
Is there anything left in the letter?
There's looking forward, which is just saying like what we're looking forward to doing in Q4.
We don't have to do this.
Okay.
You wanted to talk. You wanted to rant about something.
Cosmetics.
Yeah,
I do want to rant about it, but we before I get into my rant, We can go through here. Like, it probably will fuel
Let's
my rant.
go through the
Yeah,
cosmetics.
let's go
and then
through
when
the
we get to
cosmetics
the
first.
cosmetic you want to rant about, we can
No,
rant about it.
I want to rant about all of them. I want to like it's not even the cosmetics. It's people's opinions on the cosmetics. But we will go through. I will hear people's opinions on the cosmetics, and then if you guys fuel my rant more, then it just makes it more spicy.
Oh, I feel like I want to
My
be
man.
antagonistic now.
I
This
am,
hat
but I'm
looks
not
like a
done there.
necromancer's hat.
Yo,
This is a hat a necromancer would wear.
We sit in guild chat on the Discord, and Oni is so passionate about some of these things. It cracks me up. My girlfriend, she's like, she always comes around. She's like, "Is that Oni talking?" I'm sorry, Yokai. You guys call me Yokai Oni. She's like, "Is that Yokai?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "He's so passionate." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I've been waiting for this. Go ahead, my man.
All right, so we'll go through them first, and at the end, I will do my rant, and you guys can say you guys can say your opinions on them, and then I will get into my rant. Maybe you'll fuel my rant more, maybe you'll cool it down. I don't know. Going through the cosmetics, we'll start off with the Gloom Root cap, which is the hat that they have for the cosmetics.
It's a good hat.
I like the hat.
Yeah. A little blue glow. Bioluminescence, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might wear that hat. It'd be a fun contrast to put that on like a heavy plate set, but then have this like hat.
Can we just rip the Band-Aid off? Oni doesn't like the fact that people call it necromancer, and he's like,
All right, fuck it.
Wait, let me go first. I don't like the content. I don't like the whole thing because it has mushrooms. That's all I gotta say.
You don't. Yeah, you're tired. You're tired of the mushrooms.
I'm fucking so tired. Oh, hey, look at that new cosmetic set. Oh, it is somewhat nature related. Let's put some
the mushroom and the goddamn lion on everything. Like, I swear to God, if I see another shield or armor with a fucking lion on it.
Wait. So let me get this straight, Yoni. You're pissed because people say this looks necromancer.
Okay. So it's not just all right. So people say it looks necromancer, and they're excuse. And that when I say like a guy, I was cool about it first. I was like, guys, why do you think it looks like necromancer? And then people it's just the color. Like why you guys think it looks like necromancer? And people are like, it just looks necromancer to me, man. Like it's the color. It's blue and black. Like it's blue and black. I'm like, no, it's just blue and black. Like the color scheme. Yes, you could predict a different color scheme, but even people will even argue with me that the description screams necromancer to them, and nothing in any of these descriptions screams necromancer. It is straight up. These are either dark druids or there's just like part of the forest is corrupted.
Let me read the thing for the head.
Okay, go ahead.
The bedraggled and grimy head, choked by deadened vines and eerie fungi. This would normally be the accent of its foreboding nature. If it weren't also possessed of a sickly aura that seems dull the senses and zap the spirit. Doubtless a perfect... Yeah, it doesn't... Honestly, it doesn't fucking read necromancer to me. It reads more like dark druid or a lich or something like that.
It says dark druid, lich. People associate lich with necromancer.
Then
so
they're stupid. They're stupid. They need to go back and learn the facts.
So
it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It says dark druid or like forest witch. You are straight. Like it's straight up like. Yes, they could have picked a different color scheme. I know why nerds want to associate blue and black with necromancer. I know all of you are reading fucking solo level right now. I've seen people link solo level pictures in the Discord so fucking much. Blue and black is not solely fucking necromancer.
Blue and black is...
What gives it the necromancer feel for me, because I'm gonna be honest, I did think necromancer when I first looked at it. I think the main thing is it looks like it's brought back from the dead. It's like you when I look at this, I think of even, I mean, I guess you could call it like wood which or I don't know what you were, but I mean I just.
It is straight up Baba Yaga or Blair Witch. If you're talking about the costume, it's Baba Yaga or Blair Witch.
This is
the literally the fucking carriage is a cauldron with branches around it. That like if it was a mortar and pestle being pulled around, I would straight up say Baba Yaga. But that is a witch's cauldron. The animals are not brought back to life. It is a horse made out of roots and branches. It's supposed to be like a forest construct kind of thing. The only like actual straight up animal here is probably like the little saber-toothed cub.
Can I say something? What I just fucking noticed right now, going based on the Freehold building, it throws like it tells me a little bit like it looks a little bit elfish, right?
People say that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think more like this is like a certain type of like, elf faction that deals in some sort of nature spirit shit, and that's why it looks like that. Like necromancer for me is more greenish blacks. I'm gonna straight up say don't associate color with anything. Like don't say I'm just saying if we're talking color. So if we would talk necromancer, that would be greenish blacks, that sort of thing. Like the color, I don't give a shit about the color. And just going based on the fact that the horse looks like it's some sort of summon, like it's a nature summon. You know what I mean? Like it looks like it's something that grows out of the ground. It's not like so. I don't fucking know how people get necromancer out of this.
I can see it.
You can see freaking.
I'm just saying, I like straight up, like people that there are some people that are like straight up. It's dark magic, man. It's necromancer. Dark magic is more than just necromancers. There is like witches are straight up like the original concept of witches were straight up like you were a dealer in dark magic. The only reason people associate witches nowadays with like good shit, like there's Wiccans. And then there's the Harry Potter fucking fan base now that fucking associates witches and wizards with like good shit. There are some.
Yokai.
What?
I mean, I never in all my years, I'm 32 years old now. In all my years of playing fantasy games, I never heard of necromancers living in trees and wearing freaking mushroom hats and having forest horses. Well,
no, I think it's kind of, I think this has been said where it's just like it's definitely dark magic-y, and that for some reason people are associating the dark magic-iness of it with necromancy.
Okay,
like, that's the only thing dark magic.
Yeah, if the horse, so yeah, it's blue and black, and the people are associating blue and black with necromancer because of solo play.
What is solo play? What is that?
It's a Korean manga.
Ah, get the fuck out of here!
Seriously? Maniwa?
Are you shitting
me?
You fucking anime fucking weeps! Get the fuck out of here! Seriously, now I'm getting fucking triggered.
It's a Korean manga where the main character is
whoever fucking said that, literally take your waifu and go fuck yourself. Sorry, now I'm fucking triggered. Are you really fucking kidding me? Because some fucking anime has a guy who is fucking has blue fucking glow shit. Now everything that's fucking light blue and dark is fucking
he doesn't summon the dead. All right, so I'm not gonna.
Sorry.
I'll talk about solo play later. All right, so if the horse was a different color, if the horse, seriously. If the pet was like blue, white tiger with blue stripe, with black stripes, it was like straight up a baby tiger, and then the horse was green with pink flower petals on it, you would not be saying straight up if this was a necromancer set. You'd be saying this was like the tree house. If it was an elven set with an actual tree and pink flowers, people are associating the color with necromancer.
There you go. I'm blue. I'm a necromancer now. So fuck off.
So basically, we'll be able to like the player base can obtain these same cosmetics in game, but a different color, right? Like that's been said.
No, it's not. You're getting a different variation. It's not a different color, because if it's a different color, you're gonna get so many people that are pissed off, because you could dye all this shit. You could dye everything in game to a different color. saying a different color is a variation is nowhere near. You're getting a variation in terms of they're changing certain aspects of things. So you might get the armor with more wood, less cloth, something along the same feel
No
of it.
mushrooms.
But yeah, no mushrooms. It'll be more.
So here's the thing. I just did something. I just googled for shits and giggles. I just googled dark druid, right? So this here is an image of a dark druid. Look at that.
Dark druid.
Look at
you
that.
Would think
it
of
got
like a
blue.
nighttime druid. It would.
Yeah.
You would think of a nighttime druid,
Same
like a
color,
druid at night.
Same color. Not anime. Same color. There you go. Wanted to prove
I
that.
think it's all perspective, and people are going to see what they want to see. And at the end of the day, it's like, eh.
I am fine with that. But like when I'm having a straight up conversation with people about like a peaceful conversation, not the rant I'm doing right now, but when everyone is live, when everyone on the Discord was, when this first came out, everyone on the Discord was saying, Drew, Necromancer man, even our own envious Discord, our own members were saying Necromancer, and I was like, why do you see Necromancer? Is it just the blue and black? And they were saying, yeah, it's like they could not give you an answer other than blue and black, and the fact that some people were arguing that the description says Necromancer to them, when it is not, when nothing in that description says Necromancer, it is straight up just like dark forest magic. And dark, like dark forest magic, you can associate with like evil druids or witches, and the set itself, like straight up, just looks witch to me. More like I would say witch more than druid because of the hat and some of the like the cauldron, horse stuff. Like it says witch more than to me, and the fact that the Blair Witch and Baba Yaga are things, and they're more like forest witches.
I think you need to explain to our audience who the fuck Baba Yaga is, because I think a lot
Baba
of people,
Yaga.
because I think yeah, exactly, because it is something else.
I also think we're going in circles.
We always
I think,
go in circles. It's like what we're known
we
for.
got it. People think this looks like necromancy because of the blue-black theme. The darks theme with the blue ambience. That makes it necromancy. Yokai disagrees with that.
I
agree.
I argue with it. My rant right now is not against the cosmetics themselves. If Intrepid ever watches this, I love the set. I'm buying the set. It looks good. I would totally put this on my characters. I would definitely use the horse. Everything about the set looks great.
You want to buy it?
No, I don't. I have my own shit.
You hate the thing that people think because of some fucking anime.
Yeah, all right. So I also read solo play. I love solo play. I finished the book. I'm still reading every chapter that comes out of the fucking
Manua.
Manua. I just don't like that people like. I like the idea of that kind of like you're not raising the dead, you're raising more spirits and souls and stuff like that's a cool concept. Blue and like just because something's colored blue and black does not automatically make it fucking necromancer. And if you try to argue with me that this is necromancer because of some like the color scheme, I'm gonna argue back about it. But don't like you gotta like meet me halfway on that.
Okay, I just want to talk about how much I want this little cub. Because this is the first pet I've actually wanted. And it just like, it's cute, but there's like something dark about it. Because it looks like a necromancer. Because the sorry, I had to go that direction. But I seriously want this cub because like, I don't know. It's like, it's just adorable but like mysterious. It has like that good contrast going for it.
It's an adorable baby little tiger. It's a saber-toothed tiger. I like it as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of on cosmetics. So one of the things that I found very surprising was a lot of these cosmetics. Margaret does the design of the the base cosmetics, and she does a really good fucking job, man. Like I feel like she doesn't get enough props. Looking back at the old Intrepid pack cosmetics, and you see things like the Boston T1 or the Daystrider.
I will say on that stuff, DA, that was done in the older. That was back. That was a while ago, back in 2018, and they've changed art style. Like, it's not just the fact that Margaret's designing stuff, but a lot of that older stuff was done in a completely different art style.
Yeah,
so the art team's changed too.
So even then, she just does a really good fucking job at these cosmetics, and it's, I mean, like, hats off to her. She does a great job when it comes to designing these. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a big cosmetic person. The one I bought the $5 gauntlets, and then I bought that all red cosmetic set when they finally dropped that 4K footage. Because my whole thing was like, I'm not gonna buy cosmetics until I actually see something in game. We got to play the PI.
How big is a Kickstarter pack?
2,500.
Yeah, just say.
But cosmetic wise, I haven't really bought.
Yeah, he doesn't buy very many cosmetics. When that dark set came out in June, I don't remember what the fuck.
It was right after we played the test, and so I was just like, we got to see some content, and then goddamn that month, man, just fucking all of that shit. The boat, before the month long break, like right before COVID happened, they put out a cosmetic. It was the red and black Agony armor set. That's the one he was like. Everyone loved that set. Everyone was super hyped for that set. That's the one DA was like, man, looks like I'm gonna fucking have to buy cosmetic. Yeah, because it just looked really good. And so, like, as long as we continue to see those, as long as we continue to see these good cosmetics, and we are seeing them getting kind of transferred or getting in-game renders, it's fine. I think that everybody's gonna have their own different opinion on the cosmetics, but my whole thing is just like, as long as I continue to keep seeing meat and potatoes, I'm happy.
I can appreciate some meat and potatoes right now. Do we want to just go through quickly and just talk about which cosmetics people are getting? Because I might be getting most of these, actually, if not all of them. Maybe not the horse, but I like the carriage thingy. I just don't know if I would ever use the horse alone if I could use the scale strider or the turtle.
I probably won't buy any of this month's. I do like the outfit, like the armor outfit skins. I think they look really good, but it's just I'm not really a big cosmetic person, man. Like, I honestly don't care what my character looks like as long as it's a female with a nice features.
Oh, shut up!
As long as I'm playing a female character with some nice features, I'm happy. I don't care what it's looking like day to day, man. Because half the time I'm paying attention to the world around me and my surroundings or what's going on with my skills and things like that. So it's just like, oh well. But I do understand people's, they're like for it.
I'm not gonna buy any of them because I don't have any money.
I'm a collector and I usually buy all of them.
I hate you.
Yeah, I was collecting for a while too, but I got to the point where it's like, all right, I have so many cosmetics that I think after the game launches, like I won't even use them all.
Oh, I know I'm not gonna use them all. I have specific ones I'm gonna use. That Thunderbird is my gliding mount. Turtle of the Ancients gonna be my land mount. When they start putting out water mounts, I'll probably get one of those.
I'm so mad I missed Turtle of the Ancients. I'm not gonna lie, because I love space, and like I just like
You know what the sad thing is right now? What I just noticed, we are already talking about these things as collectibles.
Because they're supposed to be like you're not going to get them. That's the point
where we're at right now. Cosmetics are collectibles now for us.
Look, Oni's just prepping himself to be the next, Asmon Mountoff guy in Ashes of Creation. When somebody comes along and they're like, "I've got all the mounts of game," Oni's going to be like,
"Boom! No, you don't.
I've got the first cosmetic."
All right. Do we have any other topics to talk about? Otherwise, we're done for today.
We do have one topic. It can be we have been going for an hour and 12 minutes. It can be a skip if you want. It's the dev discussion number 23, housing and decor tools.
Yep, we're gonna skip that for the next one, I think.
Yeah, we have
nothing much to talk. I mean, I didn't respond to it. Just I have nothing.
Yeah, no worries.
They'll probably come out with another one by the time we have another.
Yeah.
If you want to skip that, next discussion round will be November 1st. Yep,
November 1st, bitches. I want to go
after Halloween. We'll all be hungover, and it'll be a great time.
So yeah, wait. Something I wanted to clarify. So I know Halloween is on October 31st. You guys want to dress up for the next one?
I will put on the same costume I put on last time we dressed up.
Okay, good. So next one we gotta dress up.
Right. Yeah, I might get a webcam and just do that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you should. How often is this discussion? This discussion has been taking place every 2 weeks for the last 3.5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we did weekly for a while. We did switch it to every other.
We never did weekly. I'm too fucking
I
lazy
would have
to do this.
sworn we did weekly.
Nope,
For
I would have
like a
fucking
year.
known that.
Am I insane, Yokai?
No, we.
I don't think we ever did. I don't think we ever did. I don't think we ever did.
I'm
weekly.
pretty sure we did weekly.
Once or twice, depending on the Ashes live stream.
We did one. We did a couple weekly because of events that were happening. There was a lot of news that was coming out, and BCG wanted to like tackle that news.
Yeah, exactly. It was never like every week. Like literally, I know I did it way back in the day.
During
when it was the community podcast. But then I kind of noticed that you cannot fucking talk about Ashes every week.
Some fun friend, the old blind guy, has mentioned that he has a costume.
All right, then he's going to be on the
Is this a good time to mention that we have this open to whoever in the community wants to join us?
Yeah, so, oh yeah, by the way, that's a good way. If you want to talk Ashes, if you want to be on the podcast, this is an open podcast. Anybody that wants to be on the podcast can be on the podcast. There's no, okay, well, don't be a douchebag, so, you know. But
yeah, man, I messaged Oni yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I feel like talking Ashes with the boys. It's been a while. Like, you guys, when's the next podcast? And he's like, tomorrow. I'm like, all right, man. I'm drunk. Like, let's just do it. I kid you not. I drank all night last night. Stayed up till like 9 a.m. this morning, just shooting the shit in Discord chat. And then I woke up and to go get donuts, and Oni's like, we've got 10 more minutes. I'm like, I'm driving home.
Yeah, seriously, I woke up and I woke up this morning and shot a text over to BCG, and he's like, "Hey, podcast is gonna be starting soon," and I was like, "Oh, sure, I'm gonna join." So yeah, it's dope.
All right, so we'll be back on November 1st with costumes. We're done for today because I want to go play League of Legends and stream a little bit. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks you for joining as always. And everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay the fuck away from other people. Be a nerd, stay at home, play video games. Peace!
Blue cosmetics are necromancy. Bye.
I hate you.